Cordial greeting to all. I'm Olga Rivera, course teaching English to adolescents and adults. This is the final activity about a lesson plan aimed to adolescents. The topic that I choose for this lesson plan is adjectives to describe places. One of the most topic of each teenager is adjective to describe places. It is a vocabulary used daily. In addition, it is important to use technological tools to support a topic and to make classes more attractive and interesting through different resources such as technological, traditional, printed, or mixed resources. The specific objectives for this activity is to know the main objectives to describe places, to describe images in English, their characteristics in a specific order, to strengthen listening skills through the instruction gives in English by the teacher, to practice and strengthen the use of the adjectives to describe images, to participate appropriately in oral exchanges. The description of the activity is the following. What are? I start with the date and name of the topic to expose. For example, I begin saying, dear student, today the topic is objective to describe places. First, we will see the following website to familiarize ourselves with the pronunciation of the main objectives. This is the website where we can to listen
enorme, huge, alto, tall.
The kind of the activity that we can to develop. This is a short activity to set the atmosphere in the classroom. We following with the stage presentation. The teacher will show a video. This is the video.
Common adjectives.
Where we can post comments, the new vocabulary, and how we can use the applied in a real context.
Large.
The teacher will explain them the theme through the posters that contain adjectives with images and will allow them to associate knowledge in a minimum way. This is the examples of the kind of poster that we can use during the activity describing places, the characteristic of this to be more described doing the different posters. The stage of practice. During this activity, a student fill a worksheet. This is a worksheet online identifying the characteristic of the places. The correlate the opposite words is also an activity that we can to match the terms. This is typical practice activity that include the exercise online, the online resources as free resources for learning English such as second language. Some resources are limited, but they are good, and we can perform the activity seeing the difference, and also the student can to fill the blank, the boxes that are in blank. The next stage is production. This is activity where the members split out into players or a small group. One person looks at the scene from a magazine or books. The leader should cut out enough feature and bring in enough magazine for the club. The other person has a pencil or a blank piece of paper. The student with the picture will try to describe every scene he's seen to the drawer. This is a good practice for using preposition of place. When the scriber is finished, compare the drawings to the real scenes, whose is the closest to the original. So with these speech activities as a strengthen, the resource that we use is magazines. So we will continue with the state assessment. The teacher will ask their student to write 10 sentences describing their favorite city. This kind of activity to assess a student in a formative or summative way. The resource is a notebook, and it is an activity that will take 15 minutes. The assignment is the next activity. This stage is about homework. The student will perform the following practice exercise of that they learned in class and in this following link. The activity will take 15 minutes to develop this activity. The resource is this website. In this website we can describe places, adjectives, word order, also work in group or 2 or 3 students that they can turn describing an imaginary natural place, its sentences at the time, use as many adjectives as they can use in each sentence. And the last stage is consolidation, where a student will make a short video, maximum 15 minutes, describing a trip they had made, and they will describing the places visited using photos to support. The resources for this activity are camera, images, photos. The time that the student considers necessary to develop the activity is the timing. The observation for this activity is the material, both physical and didactic, allow students to assimilate knowledge in a meaningful way. Are they designed to motivate the learning of the English language? That's all. Thank you for your attention.